This is the musical critique of Pot is a Slow Cop Car. That's the title of my music. And Angel Amy is going to help me with this song that takes about 21 minutes. But this critique will be shorter. In the song, it has kind of a chill or a chilling out feeling. It reminds me of the line by Hart Crane in his last poem, The Broken Tower. Feet chill on steps from hell, when the sexton comes down from his cathedral tower after ringing the bell. There's also a kind of luxuriousness or luxury to this music. It reminds me of the Mower Damon. I think it's Marville who did that, Andrew Marville. And he talks about luxurious man, and talking about like a garden. It also has kind of an echoey feel, the music. So it can relate to Echo's Lament for Narcissus by Ben Jonson. All those kind of the chill factor, the luxuriousness, and the echoing remind me a little bit of Henry VIII for some reason in Shakespeare. But there's also an element of sleepiness to it. Christina Rossetti talks about soul sleep. When we die, we end up going into a sleep, our soul, and then after a very long time, it finally awakes into another form of life. Being sleepy music, it also suggests isolation. So when Richard Burton said, "Be not solitary, be not idle," he was talking about not going into isolation. But then you have to when you sleep. But Freud said on sleep, you don't have to sleep if you don't want to. It's not as necessary. And that kind of reminds me of what the weird sister or the spirits say to Macbeth after he murders King Duncan. Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth doth murder sleep, sleep no more. But I think more of like Falstaff in this music, where he was sleeping when he got his pocket picked. There's the instruments of this music change often. Milton talks about the boon of sleep, and the gift of sleep comes from Homer's Iliad too. So sleep is actually kind of like considered like to be a present or a gift, a parcel even. When you sleep, you dream. So this music is also dreamy. It goes along with this nice line that I pulled out, spoken by Prospero from The Tempest by Shakespeare. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. It also has a stream of consciousness feeling to it. Finnegan's Wake does this same kind of interesting style, written by James Joyce, because it has a free flow to it. The kind of music is fun. I actually wrote a book. It was a novel called Fun, but it was more of a compilation of many of my previous short texts, and it got changed into the book that I now have called Listening In on Angels, Part 1 and 2. So if you're chilling, it also reminds me, if the music chills, then it can be close to John Keats's poem La Belle Sans de Merci, which is where a knight falls in love with a fairy and rides back home with her, only to find that when he awakes after he sleeps, he's alone and palely loitering on the side of a mountain hill. Emerson talks about solitude, about sometimes being alone in a religious sense with like your or Jesus or whoever you think of spiritually. But this could also be a lost sleep, like when you're sleeping or dreaming you're lost. You might have lost your way. It could be like Paradise Lost of Milton, or more even so, Dante's beginning of the Inferno, where Dante loses his way on the road of life, and his and has to be pulled back on the right way after going through hell and purgatorio up to heaven, to see Beatrice, his lost love. It brings me back to the mower Damon, who's Andrew Marvel's creation and character. He lost his way home because of Juliana in the poem More to the Glowworms, where he says something kind of like, "And Juliana hath my mind displaced, and I shall never find my way back home." Kind of like that. Emerson talks about dreams in his book Spirit, in his essay Spiritual Laws, where he says that dreams, as well as intoxicants such as alcohol, opium, any kind of thing like that, they're all basically illusions. And he would rather be sober, I think. But when I think of illusions, I also think of magic, which brings me back to The Tempest, where Prospero, on his deserted island, after being given a load of books by the good Gonzalo, he reads them and learns magic, but nothing pretty much happens in that play to anybody. It's all kind of an illusion. But that's like this music. And this music is called Pot is a Slow Cop Car. And Angel Amy helped me with this critique.